name's Liz. Archaeology field season is upon us, so I thought what better time than now to do a What's in My Bag Archaeologist edition, especially for those of you who are headed off to field school for the very first time. I do actually carry this backpack with me to site every day. I typically work in Italy, and I've never worked on a site where I have also lived on or nearby, so I have to carry everything with me to and from site every day. On the outside pocket, I have my water bottle. Keeping hydrated is one of the main ways to prevent heat stroke, which can knock you out for a day or more, and it sucks. Also, just keeping hydrated is super important. You're actually going to be sweating a lot more than you realize, especially if you're working in a really hot, dry condition. But in general, keeping hydrated is the best way to keep yourself energized and continue working hard the whole day through. In the big pocket, I have, first and foremost, my sun hat. This is a Tilly hat. It is machine washable and hand washable as well. It has a really wide brim all the way around, so it keeps my nose covered, which is the biggest and most important thing. It also keeps the back of your neck covered, because chances are your hair is going to be up and out of the way. I have a lot of hair and I want it completely out of my face, out of the way while I am digging. So any hat that at the very least has a brim in the front to cover up your nose, which is the first thing to get burned, is important. Next up, I have my sun shirt. I always have a long sleeve sun shirt on when I am digging. Again, I'm exceptionally pale if you didn't notice, so I do burn incredibly easily, but it's also just important to have yourself covered and out of the sun. This is one from REI that is made for this type of thing. It has UV protection grade on it, and it's very, very lightweight, so it's keeping me protected from the sun without causing me to overheat or sweat too much. I used to have a white one, but it looked really bad after 2 years. The sweat stains were real, and the dirt stains were never coming out. So one that maybe isn't white is a good move. On that note, I tend to carry these things with me to and from site. You know, depending on the type of site you're on, you may even be taking public transportation there and don't want to be completely decked out on your way to and from site each day. So having a bigger backpack that can hold these things is sometimes nice. I also carry with me at least 2 bandanas, one to wear on my head to keep the sweat and hair out of the way, and one around my neck. I like to get them really wet and put them on because it's a really easy way to cool yourself down, and you can also use them to wipe yourself off and feel a little bit cleaner and refreshed at the end of the day. I also have my cut-proof gloves. Again, this is a brand new pair because I ruined mine. These are really good ones. They have rubbery grips both on the palm and the tips of the fingers, so you can continue shoveling using a pickaxe, whatever tools you may have, you still have a good grip on them. And these, as I said, are cut proof. That's really important if you have a site where you need to be doing weeding in the first couple of days of cleaning up the site, especially the tips of the fingers, having rubber on them so you don't cut your own finger off. You can get these anywhere, and I got these off Amazon, but you can buy them at, home goods stores, kind of garden center type places, and I think REI sells this brand as well. In this big pocket, I also have, of course, my trowel. This one is a Marshalltown London style. My first field school happened to not provide these, so I purchased one, but I understand that a lot of field schools actually do provide their students with trowels. But Marshalltown's pretty standard. The London or the Philadelphia style, I've used both. Both are great. They get the job done. I also have my field notebook and a pencil case. I always bring pencils on site. It's what I prefer to write my field notebooks in. But I do try to keep some pens on hand for anything that needs to be written more permanently. I'm worried it might rub off in transit, and I also try to remember to bring a permanent marker. Most often I use it for labeling my lunch, but it sometimes comes in handy when you're making maps or doing your GPS points or whatever. So moving on to the smaller pocket here, I of course have more sun protection. Sunscreen's obviously a big deal for me as a very pale person, but it is important to keep in mind, guys. Sun damage sucks. Sunburns suck in the temporary, sun damage sucks in the long term. So I use 55 for my face because it's one thing that is always exposed for me. Even with a sun hat, you don't know when it's actually covering yourself and when you have a cheek or a nose or a chin exposed. And then I keep 30 to put on my arms. I always dig in pants, primarily to keep my legs protected from roots and that kind of thing, but for those of you who dig in shorts or are allowed to dig in shorts, again, that depends on the site you're at, whether you're allowed to wear shorts or are required to wear pants. Trousers, for those of you who are from the UK. But in any case, I keep 30. As I said, I try to always keep my long sleeve shirt on when I'm digging, but I tend to take it off when I'm taking lunch, when I'm eating a snack, you know, want to wipe down with a wet bandana, any sort of thing. When I'm traveling to and from site, I tend to not be wearing it. So my skin is exposed to the sun at that time, and that's when I wear my SPF 30. Also in this small bag, I keep some hand lotion. I get really bad calluses, especially in the first week of digging. If you're doing a bunch of site cleanup, you're pickaxing, you're weeding, you're shoveling even, depending on how much overgrowth you have, that can really, really hurt your hands. So a little bit of lotion doesn't hurt at the end of the day. I also keep hand sanitizer. This is actually primarily for the bathroom. Again, depending on the type of site you have, you may have some sort of toilet facility. Frequently you do not. So this is for those germy things. You don't want to eat your lunch immediately after you just had to dig a little hole to poop in. So that's on hand for that. It's not so much to clean up the dirt on your hands. Dirt's not going to kill you, but bathroom type germs might. On that note, I tend to keep wet wipes of some kind with me because of the dirt. Dirt, again, it doesn't kill you, but I don't think it tastes good when I'm eating my sandwiches, so I like to use it then. I've also dug in very public sites around Rome, and so I have to get on public transportation after I'm on the dig site, and it is generally appreciated if you kind of wipe the dirt off your face, the dirt off your hands, just kind of clean up a little bit for the rest of the public. I also always carry a crap load of hair ties. My hair is very long, and so I like to keep it out of the way. I have extras in case I forget to wear one on my wrist, in case one breaks, in case someone else needs one. I also keep a hairbrush, mostly to help me get my hair up and out of the way, make sure it's all caught, but I also sometimes, you know, after a backfill day, kind of need to brush the dirt out of your hair. So again, that's a little thing, not super essential for those of you with shorter hair, but something to consider and you may want. Band-aids, as many as you can carry and in as many sizes as you can find. Your feet are going to hurt, your hands are going to hurt, you might cut yourself, someone might cut you by mistake. On that note, you may want to consider, if you're breaking in new boots or haven't worn yours for a long time, having like one of those blister balm sticks. Those can be really helpful in preventing really painful blisters that might knock you out for a day or two or make you less able to move around. Now, my bathroom bag. So again, as I said, depending on the type of site you're on, you may have access to some type of toilet facility or you may have nothing at all. So I always bring tissues with me. These work as toilet paper. For those of you who experience periods, or for those of you who may need to poop on site, that's when you need these. They keep you clean, they're small, they're portable, a lot more portable than a like roll of toilet paper. I also carry tampons with me. I do highly, highly recommend, if you are comfortable with doing this, skipping your period, especially if you're only going to be digging for a month, as is typical for many field schools. It makes it a lot easier, particularly if you're on a site where you have to bring everything in and out with you. You're digging your little hole in the woods. You aren't allowed to put toilet paper or sanitary products in those holes. And because you're bringing things in and out with you, it can get kind of messy, it can get kind of gross. So I do recommend, if you can, and if you are comfortable with it, skipping. If you are not, though, I carry 2 plastic bags with me. One to keep the clean stuff in, because nothing is worse than going out for a number 2 and discovering your toilet paper is wet. likewise, if you need a tampon and it has soaked up a ton of water, it's no longer usable. So having just a clean one, and then I have the second one for the dirty, used stuff to take out of sight with me at the end of the day and dispose of properly. And I have ibuprofen. Don't recommend bringing a giant bottle like this. I didn't feel like putting it in something smaller, but having something, at least a few of these on hand, can help for any of those small injuries you get during the day, a pulled muscle, an aching back, period cramps, whatever may be happening, maybe a little bit of a headache. It's always good to have a few ibuprofen or whatever painkiller you prefer on hand. And last but not least, I have my glasses. I actually prefer to dig with my contacts in. I know a lot of people do not. They find the dirt getting in their eyes very, very irritating. I haven't had a huge problem with it in the past, but there's always a potential that something happens with your contacts, it falls out. So I always bring my glasses with. However, if you feel like digging in your glasses and don't mind them slipping down your nose while you're hunched over, then by all means wear your glasses. But in any case, that's pretty much everything, guys. So I hope this was helpful and informative. If any of you have any questions or would like to see maybe a full-size suitcase, what I bring when I travel to go on excavations, let me know. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.